Furthermore, Shalnark displays decently impressive speed by dodging the attack of one of the shadow beasts last second from inside of a car before the Hatsu ability could fully activate. Hey, what's up everybody? It's LeeLos, and today we're talking about why the Phantom Troupe are overpowered. Stay steady in pursuit of your dreams and goals. You're born to win, you're made for greatness, and I definitely believe in you guys. Keep up the great work each and every day. So the Phantom Troupe is a group of some of the most dangerous criminals in the entire world of Hunter x Hunter. Today we're going to analyze every single power-up and ability these monsters have displayed to find out overall just how powerful are these legendary characters. Chrollo states that the members of the Phantom Troupe have different roles, each role matching their skill set and abilities. Shizuku, Paku, and Shalnark are all part of the recon and cleanup team, and more combatant type spiders like Uvo and Nobunaga are stated to have volunteered their lives in order to protect them. Despite this, even the majority of the more support type spiders are considerably powerful compared to the surrounding world of Hunter x Hunter. Hisoka states, if you aren't selected by Chrollo specifically to fill a vacancy in the troupe, then another option for joining the troupe is defeating a current member in a fight. If you win, you can replace them and take their position. Hisoka had beaten a member of the Phantom Troupe years ago, all for the goal of being able to fight Chrollo. Therefore, you could argue that simply being a Phantom Troupe member for years is an impressive feat on its own. It's possible that some of the members have defeated multiple challengers trying to take their position and join the famous Phantom Troupe. Or maybe it's just that the overall reputation of the troupe is so terrifying that most people don't even attempt fighting them unless you're an insane person like Hisoka. When you consider the fact that Killua's father Silva killed one of the members of the Phantom Troupe and states it was not easy and wasn't worth the money, and we never even learn this Phantom Troupe member's name, this further hypes up the average strength of a Phantom Troupe member. Support members like Shalnark are still decently powerful. Shalnark's ability gives him 2 needles that he can use to completely control his opponent. Shalnark states, in most battles, it doesn't matter how strong his opponent is, if he lands a needle, it's a guaranteed victory. There may be a limit to this. For example, characters like the Royal Guard might be able to resist Shalnark's control with raw aura alone, and it was implied that he wasn't able to pierce the raw armor of a peon ant, but the overall limits of Shalnark's control are unknown and debatable. But seeing how Hunter x Hunter is a very balanced verse, there being some kind of Nen counter to Shalnark's ability seems very possible. Furthermore, Shalnark displays decently impressive speed by dodging the attack of one of the shadow beasts last second from inside of a car before the Hatsu ability could fully activate. Chrollo then goes on to use this same ability while fighting Zeno and Silva, which essentially confirms that not only did the Phantom Troupe jump this shadow beast off screen, but they took him to Chrollo, and Chrollo then stole his ability. The most underrated support type on their team is Kortopi. Physically, Kortopi is an actual fodder character. I wouldn't be surprised if even a jobber like Leorio could knock him clean out, but Kortopi's skill with his Hatsu ability is absolutely insane. Kortopi's Hatsu ability allows him to make clones of inanimate objects that disappear after 24 hours. Chrollo asks Kortopi to make 10 clones of their entire hideout building as a way of tricking Kurapika, but Kortopi says he can make 50, essentially cloning an entire small town on his own. Every clone he creates works like N as well, meaning Kortopi can tell anytime someone steps foot inside of one of his clone buildings. It's actually an extremely broken ability for intel. Kortopi can also make clones of multiple different items at the same time. While keeping the 50 clone buildings active, Kortopi touches a pair of Kurta eyes that he had cloned the night before. He uses them as N and is instantly able to find where Kurapika is. Kurapika states that Kortopi is probably a conjurer, and it's an insane feat to be able to conjure entire buildings, let alone 50 of them at the same time. Shalnark then goes on to say that his own Hatsu ability can be easily replaced, but Shizuku and Pakunoda are rare, so they can't afford to lose them. Shizuku's not that impressive. She somewhat struggled to defeat the spider officer ant, putting her above characters like Pokal, but her Hatsu ability is convenient because it can cover their traces very well. Other than Chrollo, Pakunoda is the only confirmed specialist amongst the Phantom Troupe. Her ability lets her read the minds of other people and share the memories with with her teammates, making her very valuable for recon and gathering intel. She really never does anything that physically impressive. Even York New City, Gon, and Killua were kinda damaging her with their attacks. Bonolenov was so strong that a decently powerful Nen user, Heinrei, thought that Bonolenov would be able to solo their entire Mafia family by himself. Then he low-diffed 2 of their Nen users without even using his Hatsu ability. Just his raw aura alone was enough to terrify them, but it should be noted that this family is pretty much fodder. Bonolenov wasn't able to damage an officer ant with his initial Hatsu ability, yet just a few raw punches were one-shotting 2 of their trusted Nen users, heavily implying these guys scale considerably below the officer ants from the Chimera Ant arc. Meanwhile, characters like Kite were one-shotting entire hordes of officer ants, and Gon and Killua were beating officer ants without even using their Hatsu abilities. They also state, Hisoka is a floor master, I don't know if we can defeat him. Meanwhile, there were actual fodder characters trying to become floor masters back in Heaven's Arena. So yeah, these guys probably aren't overall very strong, but it was still impressive that they thought Bonolenov could solo all of them. Nobunaga's most impressive feat, along with Machi, is that Killua compares them both to Hisoka. You could make an argument that this was just Killua explaining their strength in a simple way that Gon and Leorio could understand. Machi's Hatsu ability might be more designed for healing rather than combat, but she is a Nen genius, as she was able to see aura intuitively without even being trained. We still don't know Nobunaga's Hatsu ability or if he even has one, but he's willing to square up with just about anybody. He squared up with Franklin, Feitan, Phinks, and Hisoka at different points throughout the York New City arc. Not saying he would win most of these fights, but it is impressive that he was not afraid of powerful foes, even though experienced Nen users are implied to be able to sense how strong other Nen users are. Phinks is pretty strong, but he's essentially just a worse version of Uvogin. They're both enhancers, and Phinks is just the weaker enhancer. But his Hatsu ability gets more powerful the more he winds up his arm. We don't know if there's a limit to how many times he can wind up his fist, but from what we've seen, the more he winds it up, the more aura goes into the attack. In theory, maybe he could put all of his aura into a single punch, essentially creating his own baby version of Zero Hand. Seeing how Netero is also an enhancer, this is an interesting comparison. I personally believe Netero's Zero Hand is a great example of what all enhancers should strive to obtain as a trump card conditional Nen, pouring all of their aura into a single attack. Maybe a hypothetical maximum wind-up punch from Phinks would be stronger than Uvogin's Big Bang Impact, but using all your aura in one punch makes the Nen user pass out immediately afterwards, so even if Phinks could do that, it should only be used as a last resort. Uvogin's Big Bang Impact is stated to be as strong as a small missile in the manga, and his entire goal was to keep getting stronger. As children, he was actually the strongest member of the Phantom Troupe before they learned Nen, and they initially wanted Uvo to be their leader, but he was likely soon surpassed by Chrollo once they all began learning Nen. Feitan is underrated because the majority of his battle against Zazan, he was rusty and still warming up. The moment he starts getting back to his normal levels of power, he immediately began speed blitzing Zazan. When Feitan uses his Hatsu ability Pain Packer, he initially spawns a suit of armor. It's stated he has multiple different forms to this ability, but we don't know what the others are or what they do. It should be noted that the moment he puts on his armor, Zazan states that Feitan is clearly more powerful than before, meaning there's a possibility that the armor boosts his overall stats, even without him using Pain Packer. In theory, maybe Feitan could just continue fighting while wearing the armor and use it as a defense buff against people faster than him. In theory, this could be a good counter to an ability like Killua's Godspeed, but it's unknown if Feitan is actually able to fight while wearing this armor. Maybe it's a condition of his ability that he has to use Pain Packer automatically. Hisoka is one of the most popular characters in Hunter x Hunter, so I could make a video like this purely about Hisoka in the future. Hisoka was so strong, he was capable of low-diffing Gon and Killua anytime he wanted to at the start of the series. After fighting Chrollo and reviving himself with post-mortem Nen, Hisoka became even more powerful. So much so that now Chrollo, even wielding a post-mortem Nen ability of his own, is avoiding fighting Hisoka before evolving his Hatsu ability to an even greater level that it's never reached before. Also, Hisoka is on the same ship as the 4th Prince, and is looking for a strong opponent to fight. Despite this, as the 4th Prince is developing multiple Nen beasts and terrifying the people around around him with his progress, Hisoka hasn't mentioned him on screen a single time. There's a chance that the fourth prince is still too weak to even be on Hisoka's radar at this point in the series, despite the fourth prince being so powerful that he's scaring the bodyguards around him. Hisoka is an absolute maniac who's addicted to fighting powerful opponents. In the world of Hunter x Hunter, where battle experience and confidence can lead you to developing immensely as a fighter, Hisoka is fundamentally designed to become an extremely powerful nen user. He's also stated to be a genius in the data books, so I personally believe that Hisoka has not yet reached his full potential. He's only about 28 years old. Meanwhile, characters like Netero didn't reach their prime until age 50, and considering the fact that Hisoka is now on his way to the Dark Continent with tons of powerful opponents and ingredients that could potentially allow Hisoka to live for hundreds of years, there's a strong argument to make that Hisoka isn't at his full potential yet and may become far stronger than this in his lifetime. Chrollo is a legendary genius, so gifted that Hisoka essentially ignores all other members of the Phantom Troupe purely for the chance at fighting Chrollo. He's another character I could do a full video on, so let me know if you'd like a more detailed analysis on Chrollo's strength in the future. Chrollo has one of the most powerful and versatile Hatsu abilities in the entire series. He can combine multiple abilities at once using his bookmark ability, and what truly makes him dangerous is that with prep time, he can essentially put together the perfect combo of abilities to beat nearly any opponent. One of his most interesting abilities is that he's displayed the power to teleport other people. This is how he stopped Nobunaga from attacking Hisoka. We don't know the limits to this power, but Hisoka does say Chrollo always vanishes without a trace. Maybe this could be a hint to the idea that Chrollo can teleport himself as well. We really have no clue. This power has never been fully explained, but the idea of Chrollo teleporting his enemy into a different attack is truly insane. Oh, also I didn't mention Franklin. I mean, we never see him do anything really impressive at all. He has finger bullets that are stronger than normal bullets. They're amped by him chopping his fingers off when he didn't have to. And Kaluto is a new member of the troupe so weak that they make even Shalnark and Shizuku look strong in comparison. Overall, the Phantom Troupe is very powerful, with Feitan, Uvo, Hisoka, and Chrollo being displayed as the overall strongest members. A lot of their backstory is still a mystery. We don't know if they ever even had Nen Masters or if they were self-taught. Phinks, Feitan, and Nobunaga struggling with N despite being so powerful implies that maybe they were self-taught and might not even be full-fledged Nen Masters, just super powerful bandits that gained strength through fighting. Also, I've heard a theory that maybe Chrollo calls himself a skill hunter because he actually might have completed the hunter exams in the past. There's just a lot of their backstory we still don't know, so maybe he did just become a hunter at some point in the past, and that's why he calls himself the skill hunter. We don't really know though. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate the views, I appreciate the comments, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.